Hey guys, if you watched my earlier video, you saw that I created this lizard queen doll, but now she needs some clothing. My lizard queens are all loosely inspired by historical queens, and this one is loosely inspired by Queen Victoria, who was famously known for wearing black mourning clothing for most of her life. I'm going to recycle a black velvet shirt, and I've got some different laces and trims that I may or may not use in the final dress. I have almost no plan for how to do this. So I'm starting off with a good old circle skirt. I'm going to cut out a circle and I'm going to find the middle of it to start. And then I'm going to lay it out and cut a slit up one side of this big, glorious circle. Now I have to cut a waist hole that will hopefully fit around my doll. Again, I have no plan. Here I am. I'm just going to try it on and see if it fits. I kind of want to keep the v-neck of the shirt as the dress. I have no plan for this. And I'm going to start by just cutting holes for her arms and then decide what to do next. I ended up with this shape, which I fiddled with a lot because it's a misshapen, awkward thing right now. Watch me decide what I'm going to do next. I'm going to try and measure something and then go, I don't know what I'm doing. I fiddled with it for a while. It's a trust the process thing. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to sewing. I just wing it. But I've got something that kind of fits. And for the sleeves, I cut out these very, very wide, full sleeves, and I'm going to put some buttons down the back. I'm hand sewing all of this, which is long and tedious, so I won't show you much of that. We'll skip to the finished bodice, which I'm going to try on her and hope that it really actually fits her when I'm done. And thankfully, it does. Now it's time to sew that skirt onto the bodice. More tedious hand sewing. We'll skip that, and we're going to try on the mostly finished dress. So after I button it down the back, you're going to notice that I have left the bottom of the skirt open on purpose so you can see her glorious, fantastic lizard tail. But I am going to add some more detail to this here in a minute. So the next thing I'm going to make is some lace trim. I'm going to add that to the bottom of the dress, getting it just a little bit fancier. Then we still have this tail showing, which is great. But if you don't want the tail showing, I'm going to make this little train, which is going to be on a belt, which buttons on separately, and that will cover her tail if you don't want the tail to show. And to give it a good bustle, I have rolled up some scrap fabric and it just tucks into this gathered portion at the top of the train to give her a good old Victorian bustle. Look at that. She's got some booty. Now, Queen Victoria was known for, in later time, wearing a white widow's cap, which actually looked a bit like a wedding veil. It had a white veil on it. So I've made something inspired by that. And I'm going to give her this ribbon sash, and I'm going to put a tiny little bow, which I handmade, and a little medal on it for decoration. So let's try the final thing onto my lizard queen. We've got the dress, we've got her tail showing, but we're going to cover that up with the train and the bustle. Add her little ribbon with her little medal onto it. And next, we need to add her crown. So here comes her crown with her veil, and she is all dressed and looking very regal. We're going to spin her around and take a look. However, this is making me seasick, so let's skip to a little bit of a fashion photo shoot here so we can check her out. At the last minute, I decided she needed something else, so I put a pearl necklace on her, but I didn't get a good shot of it until I was at a convention and someone was buying her, so I clicked a very quick photo. Thanks for joining me. Bye!